Welcome to Ops Daily Channel. Unveil the future of photography with our countdown of the top 10 best DSLR cameras for 2023. From cutting-edge features to unparalleled performance, let's dive into the ultimate camera lineup. Number 1. Nikon D850. Best high megapixel DSLR. Specifications. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 45.7 MP. Lens mount: Nikon FX screen. 3.2 in tilting touchscreen to 359,000 dot. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 7 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K. User level: enthusiast, professional. We found the Nikon D850 an expensive camera when it was first launched, but now prices have fallen and it's 7 MP resolution is spectacular. The Nikon D850 is amazing for video features too, and makes it one of the best DSLRs for video around, though the newer Nikon D780 would be a better and cheaper choice for videographers. We know the Nikon D850 doesn't have the new Nikon D780's hybrid on sensor autofocus technology, so its live view autofocus speeds are relatively pedestrian. But we don't find that much of a handicap for measured professional photographic shoots, and it scarcely puts a dent in the D850's all-round appeal as arguably the best DSLR of all time for professional photographers. It looked spectacular when it first came out in 2017, and it looks just as good today, but cheaper. Number 2. Canon EOS 1DX Mark III. Best DSLR for professionals. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixel: 20.1 MP. Lens mount: Canon F mount. Screen: 3.2-inch fixed touchscreen to 1 million dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: optical viewfinder 16 FPS mechanical shutter live view 20 FPS mechanical or electronic shutter. Max video resolution: 4K RAW, 4K DCI, 4K UHD, 4K DCI cropped at 2398, 2425, 2997, 50, 5994 FPS, 1080p at 2398, 2425, 2997, 50, 5994, 120 FPS. User level: professional. With the Canon EOS 1DX Mark III, the typically cautious company released a camera packed with bleeding-edge tech, including deep learning app, an optical smart controller, HIF and HDR PQ support, CF Express, 12-bit internal 4K RAW, head tracking, and so much more. Canon combined the advantages of DSLR and mirrorless to produce a hybrid body that can shoot according to what the situation demands, making it the best solution for professionals, offering the best of both worlds, with the sheer speed of an optical DSLR with the advanced accuracy of mirrorless. It's a true hybrid system that molds to the needs of individual professionals and individual shooting scenarios. Moreover, it marked a genuine turning point for Canon in terms of video, at long last delivering the uncropped 4K video that has for so long eluded the manufacturer. Number 3. Pentax KF. Best new and affordable DSLR. Type: DSLR. Sensor: APS-C. Megapixels: 24.2 MP. Screen: 3-inch tilting LCD, 921,000 dot. Viewfinder: optical. Max burst speed: 6 FPS. Max video resolution: Full HD 1080p. User level: enthusiast. For anyone who is not quite ready to make the switch to mirrorless, but wants the latest release with modern features, the Pentax KF is most likely your only option, with no other brand actively developing new DSLRs. Pentax aficionados will notice a lot of similarities between the Pentax K70 and Pentax KF, with only a couple of minor changes, such as a higher res LCD screen and a marginally lower weight. As a mid-range model aimed at enthusiast photographers, the Pentax KF is not the most exciting camera release ever, but what it does really well. Combining a hybrid AF, with 4-5 stops of image stabilization, a built-in flash, bulb mode, and an articulating screen. This is a very versatile camera. The camera is unfortunately let down by its lack of 4K video recording, although still manages respectable 1080p footage that is good enough for online viewing. Number 4. Nikon D780. Best hybrid DSLR. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 24.4 MP. Lens mount: Nikon FX. Screen: 32-inch tilting screen to 359K dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 7/12 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K UD. User level: enthusiast professional. The long-awaited upgrade to the much-loved Nikon D750 certainly didn't disappoint us. The Nikon D780 includes the same on-sensor phase detection autofocus as the Nikon Z6 to give the same mirrorless live view performance, a great advantage for stills photography and especially for video. Admittedly, Nikon was a bit slow off the mark, as Canon has used its own dual-pixel CMOS AF in its DSLRs to do the same thing for years. However, the D780 doesn't just have advanced live view AF, it also comes with a high-resolution tilting touchscreen display, 4K UD video, dual Aslaam 2 compatible memory card slots, and continuous shooting speeds up to 12 FPS in live view mode. Combine that with its solid design and comfortable grip, and you've got a camera that's an instant classic. We found that the D780, like other Nikon DSLRs, combines a well-thought-out design with a solid build and very satisfying handling. Number 5. Pentax K1 Mark II. Best full-frame alternative. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 36 MP. Lens mount: Pentax K. Screen: 3 and 3-way tilt, 1037K dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 446.4 FPS. Max video resolution: 1080p Full HD. User level: enthusiast, professional. Pentax seems to soldier along in its own little bubble, seemingly unaffected by outside events. So we found the Pentax K1 Mark II typically solid but unadventurous. It has a tough, weather-sealed construction and a highly effective sensor shift image stabilization system that works with any attached lens, unlike competing Canon and Nikon DSLRs, which do not have in-body stabilization. Better still, the 5-axis stabilizer can work in trick modes to deliver anti-aliasing correction, an increase in fine detail and texture based on pixel shift through multiple exposures, and even an astrotracer mode to avoid stars appearing to streak through the sky. With a 36 MP full-frame image sensor, the K1 Mark II certainly gives you a lot of megapixels for the money, though we think the 33-point autofocus system feels dated, and live view autofocus is definitely pretty poor. Pentax is one of the few brands still pushing DSLRs. It recently announced the Pentax KF and APS C24 2MP camera available in 3 different colors. Who knows, could the KF be the last DSLR ever made? Number 6. Canon EOS Rebel SL3 EOS 250D. Best for beginners. Type: DSLR. Sensor: APS-C. Megapixels: 24.2 MP. Lens mount: Canon FS. Screen: 3 in vari-angle touchscreen, 1040,000 dots. Max burst speed: 5 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K. User level: beginner. There are a few Canon cameras that are cheaper than the Canon EOS Rebel SL3, known as the 250D in Europe, but they lack its features and build quality. You don't have to pay that much extra to have features such as a vari-angle touchscreen, a 24.3 megapixel sensor with Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF technology, which makes the autofocus in live mode really fast, just like a mirrorless cameras, and guided screen options to help you learn. It's also capable of 4K video, so if you think you might want to have a go at filmmaking, this may be better for you than the Nikon D3D500. Having used Canon's cheapest DSLRs, sorry Canon, we think the EOS Rebel SL3 250D is definitely worth the extra. Number 7. Canon EOS 90D. Best Apps C DSLR. Best Apps C DSLR. Type: DSLR. Sensor: Apps C. Megapixels: 32.5 MP. Lens mount: Canon FS. Screen: 3 in vari-angle touchscreen, 1040,000 dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 10 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K UD. User level: enthusiast. We spent some time testing the Canon EOS 90D, and we are convinced this is the best Canon camera for enthusiasts. It arrived with groundbreaking specs that no other camera in this category can match, and packs in an amazing 32.5 million pixels, the highest yet for an Apps C camera, though you shouldn't expect to see any obvious and instant benefit in image quality. It all depends on the lenses, and the 18-135mm kit lens supplied for us to use is not one of Canon's best. Instead, revel in this camera's 10 FPS continuous shooting capability and its uncropped 4K video capture, a consumer-level Canon that finally doesn't reduce the angle of view for 4K video. The extra megapixels do dent the EOS 90D's high ISO light performance, but this camera has so many capabilities and so much potential. We think it's a dazzlingly good all-rounder for enthusiasts who want to try every facet of photography. What's more, with its flip-out screen and dual-pixel CMOS AF, it's just like using a mirrorless camera in live view mode. Number 8. Nikon D7500. Best DSLR for enthusiasts. Type: DSLR. Sensor: Apps C. Megapixels: 20.9 MP. Lens mount: Nikon DX. Screen: 3.2 in tilting touchscreen, 922,000 dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 8 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K. User level: enthusiast. Despite being released 4 years ago, we still think the Nikon D780 deserves recognition as one of the best DSLRs for enthusiasts, even now. It's a decent all-rounder and Nikon's equivalent to the Canon EOS 90D. It offers a slightly faster continuous burst shooting speed at 8 FPS, though lacks the resolution of the 90D. The 51-point autofocus system is reliable, and it has the ability to record 4K video. It has a tilting rear screen rather than the fully articulated design on the EOS 90D, and relies on slower contrast AF in live view mode. But if you do most of your shooting through the viewfinder, these will be small points. Nikon fans who like sports photography might also want to take a look at the Nikon D500. But this is a much more expensive camera, and it's growing harder to find. DSLR fans should know that there are still great DSLRs around, and our time with the D7500 has convinced us that this is one of them. Number 9. Canon EOS 6D Mark II. Best option for just stills. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 26.2 MP. Lens mount: Canon F. Screen: 3.2 in vari-angle touchscreen, 1040,000 dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 6.5 FPS. Max video resolution: 1080p Full HD. User level: enthusiast. The Canon EOS 6D Mark II has been out for a while now, and while its specifications are hardly cutting edge, this is still a powerful and versatile DSLR for photographers taking their first steps in full-frame photography. Most important of all, we think it's versatile, extremely well-designed, and straightforward to use. The 26-megapixel sensor is good rather than great, but it does have Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF system, so the live view autofocus is very fast and effective. The 45-point viewfinder AF system is pretty good too, although the focus points are all clustered toward the center of the screen. The EOS 6D Mark II can capture images at 6.5 FPS in burst mode and has an extremely useful vari-angle touchscreen display. It has been upstaged somewhat by the newer Canon EOS RP and Canon's other mirrorless models, but it's a solid buy that's cheaper than the Nikon D780. Number 10. Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. Best for stills and video. Type: DSLR. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 30.4 MP. Lens mount: Canon F. Screen: 3.2 in touchscreen, 620,000 dots. Viewfinder: Pentaprism. Max burst speed: 7 FPS. Max video resolution: 4K. User level: Enthusiast Professional. Released in 2016, the Canon EOS 5D IV is still a popular camera among professional photographers. We like it too, though we have to admit that it's showing its age both for resolution and its cropped 4K video. Compared to the Nikon D850, its resolution might seem pretty average, but for lots of photographers 30 megapixels is more than enough, and you can shoot 4K video with this camera too. But the format used means the files it outputs are good, but massive. The EOS 5D Mark IV features Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF, which means users benefit from fast autofocus performance in live view and video modes. It's robust, reliable, and weather-resistant, which is a major plus for pro photographers. Sadly, Canon has shifted almost all its attention to its new EOS R range of mirrorless cameras, so we don't know when or even if we will ever see a successor to the EOS 5D IV. This is all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you again in another amazing video.